folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. So have you ever thought maybe America and Canada is the real bad guys here? Maybe they're the ones that's really, stomping on all the freedom in the world, and maybe they're the real, globalist ones that's working with the World Economic Forum. I know this is a shock to most of you. I'm sure not a single one of you have ever thought that before. I want to talk about a few things relating to that. Before I get started, I do want to mention that another YouTube channel, the guy that hosts it, the creator, he passed away. I believe it was last night or this morning. And so I want to pay my condolences to him and the family. His name is The Prepping Preacher. You can go to his YouTube channel, and his son is posting in the community section, giving updates of what's gone on and everything. And so if you can remember that family in prayer, a lot of us prepping type channels here on YouTube, we kind of stick together and look out for each other. And so I just want to remember to mention that, and everyone, if you can remember his family in prayer. Also, I had mentioned in the previous video today about the Expo that we're having here. That is, you can go to the website. It's preparedhomesteadexpo.com, and getting a lot of great response from it, a lot of emails and stuff. And I just want to mention that I normally get a lot of emails, and so now getting a bunch more, you may not get a response right away, so please be patient. I'm just a one-man machine here, so I will get back with you, and I've been working on that today, but it may take a while. Go to the website if you'd like to attend. It's free. It'd be great if you could go ahead and do the sign up and reserve tickets. All that's for so that I get a rough estimate of how many people that we need to expect to attend this kind of event. It's a 2-day event in May, and got all kinds of people already signing up for vendors, working on getting some special speakers lined up, and people to do skills demonstrations and things like that. Already kind of getting that going. So if you want to go to preparedhomesteadexpo.com, you can find out something about it, and I'm still working on adding more and more to that website. So in the coming days, there'll be more up on there that you can read about this event. All right, so America has always been that global beacon of freedom, the city standing on a hillside, that kind of thing. And Canada, kind of, right behind us. Most people, would think that Canada is probably the closest nation that's, that's like America. You can go there, and it's not too drastically different. It's not like you're going to some far-off foreign country and the culture is so drastically different. The people are nicer, but that's about it. I mean, there's a few things like guns and stuff, but that's the two countries. And another one you could throw in there is Australia. And isn't it funny that through all this, that those three countries have, really been not very free. In fact, those three countries are some of the ones that's perpetuating this World Economic Forum Great Reset Agenda 2030 stuff just about more than anyone else. In case you didn't know, and you probably should be aware of this, the FBI has announced that they're forming some type of special division, task force, or whatever, pretty much with the sole purpose of confiscating your cryptocurrency. That's right. That stuff that everyone's always talking about that's so secure, and that, you should invest in it and have, some of your wealth in it because no one can touch it. Well, they're going to do that. And of course, it's only going to be used for bad guys. I know. It's not going to be used for people that protest against them, for people that refuse to comply with their mandates and stuff. It's only going to be used for criminals, not people that are like domestic terrorists or anything. And it's interesting that our own government has these, branches or these agencies within the government that their sole purpose is to trample on your freedom. Like they take the ATF, for instance. It's like its sole purpose of existence is just to take away your Second Amendment freedoms. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? And most people just turn a blind eye to it and say that, well, that's necessary because people commit crimes with guns, and they never stop to think that local and state law enforcement has all the power and all the laws needed to handle when people break laws with guns. So why do we need an ATF? Well, because we have to control people. And then up there in Canada, all the stuff that's going on right now, and it's just getting worse. They've, announced today that a little threat that, if you're out there protesting and you've got your animal with you, your pet could be confiscated. If you get arrested, we're going to take your pet to the dog pound. And if you don't get out of jail soon enough to pick it up within 7 days, it's done. We're gonna take care of it. And then also, they're sending out little, kind of subliminal little threats like, hey, if you're out here with children protesting, you should probably just leave because we've been talking and working with, Child Protective Services, and, well, heaven forbid, you get your children taken away. I don't quite remember this level of, force and threats being used against, the BLM and the Antifa people. Not at all. So what's the difference? Well, it's this thing called freedom. The thing that, is like the acronym for, white supremacy and Nazi and all this kind of stuff, or at least that's what the media is saying now, that the term freedom means all these bad things. I mean, I always thought that freedom was a good thing, that meant that you were free and that you owned your own body and you made your own decisions for your life. But now we're being told that freedom is really bad. We have to be careful about, what we listen to and what we take in, because there's so much deception out there. They like to twist things. I mean, I think I said just the other day that, poor old Orson Welles, wherever he is, he's going to be turning over in his grave wondering or thinking that, man, I never thought of this kind of stuff when I was writing my books. This is like over the top. Because that's what they're doing. They're using a playbook right out of World Economic Forum, globalist agendas like Agenda 2030 and Agenda 2050 to basically take over, to take away your freedom. They can't stand that. They can't stand the fact that you have any kind of freedom, or that you think that you have any kind of freedom. And so that's why we're seeing all this happen. It's not about worrying about if you or anything else. It's to let you know that you're not really free, that you are really ours, and we really control you. And the amount of deception that's going on out there, and the twisting, and just this mind-boggling gaslighting that's going on is kind of getting to be over the top. I mean, take Russia, for instance, and I've been talking a lot about it because I believe there's some importance going on there, that whether or not there's an invasion or whether or not there's a war, there's certainly something going on, because there's a whole lot of distraction being done by talking about it all the time. And it's something that we should be aware of. But Putin has been painted as this horrible, horrible person, and Russia is this evil aggressor. And I'm not saying that Putin is a great guy. I mean, he's part of the World Economic Forum too. He spoke there. So I know that he's a globalist, but I think he's a different kind of globalist. I'd say he's probably of the other faction of globalists that are also trying to take over, but just take over in their way. China and Syria and Iran and North Korea and a few others. But he certainly, I don't think, is as bad as what we're being told, or that everything that's being spun in the American media or even online is accurate. I mean, if you just look at the troops that he has along the Ukrainian border, there's no signs that there are any reinforcement troops or supply lines being set up that would normally be done when preparing for a long-term major-scale war. I know 150,000 troops sounds like a lot, but if you're planning to invade Europe, you're probably going to need a little bit more than that, and definitely some better secured supply lines. And the truth is, like I said last week, is that him keeping 100,000 troops along the Ukrainian border is nothing new. In fact, it's been done pretty much since he went into Crimea the last time, that he's been keeping that amount of troops there just about all the time. So not a whole lot has changed. So why all the scuffle? Could it be possibly that whatever is going on behind closed doors amongst the elites, that they've decided it's time that the threat from the other side, the other faction, Putin and Xi Jinping and all them, to be taken out? And Putin, maybe he's just trying to, do a little saber rattling to let the world know that he's not going to take it lying down. I don't know. And again, I certainly don't want to paint him as some great guy, but I don't think he's quite the evil one that is being painted in the media. And we have to be careful that all the stuff that we're being told, that the White House is spinning in the news media, whether or not that stuff even really exists. They have such a way of just flat out lying. And the deception is pretty great. Even the Bible says that, in the last days that, the deception will be so great that even the very elect could be deceived by it. So be very careful about what you take in. And even on this channel, verify for yourself. Don't just take what I say and believe it to be true. I mean, I really try hard to fact check on my own and to make sure what I say is correct. But I can't guarantee it, because my sources are coming from a lot of the same places that yours are. And who knows what's being told is true. The fact is that there is a global effort. It's been going on for a very, very long time, folks, to, destroy this concept of freedom, to destroy this concept that we don't really have to be ruled by these powerful overlords. I mean, it's all been foretold. And I don't know that there's anything that's going to stop it, because that's just how this is all supposed to play out. So, folks, don't be deceived, and be cautious, and don't always fall for this, we're America, and we have the Constitution, and we're never going to have to deal with all that intrusiveness into our lives and unconstitutional and illegal usage of government, because, it's happening all around us. And I think as things like the convoy protest goes on and gets bigger here in the United States, we're going to see more of that. And I think what has happened in Canada is probably kind of like a beta test. And we could very well see that similar thing, and probably very much worse, happen right here on our own soil against our fellow brothers and sisters. So continue to prep up and get ready, and don't be deceived by the things that's going on, because in the end we don't know what really is true and what really isn't. We just know what we must do to continue to prepare ourselves in defense of this global takeover and this global reset. All right, folks, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.